Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Taking Up Space on Michelle A. Mayer podcast. Always excited about coming forward, y'all. Today's no different. Today, I got an interesting one for you. I've had a very eventful week or so, and, it's always interesting when the way that the mind processes new experiences. You know what I mean? Like, you could be on a journey of growth, and then something will come upon your path to challenge you to see what level of growth you have experienced, where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are. And, there are always going to be things that we are not strong in. There's nothing that we're never going to reach a level of perfection in this life. That's for sure. So I don't even aspire for perfection. I just look to get the most out of my walk, to observe myself and observe my feelings and the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I really am not. And I observe how life will allow me to go through varied experiences and uncovering the truth of them. I'm even surprised at times at the things that I find myself very passionate about that I really maybe didn't realize before I was enthralled in the heat of dealing with that thing. But, when you have life situations come upon you, like my dad transitioned last week, like I told many of you, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I only got one dad. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a very monumental thing because I am very, very close to my dad. Like, if you know me, unless you're just in denial and you don't want to admit to it, and you're in my family, I'm very close to my dad. Very. And to have my dad transition so abruptly in the way that he did, I'm still processing that. And not to get into that, I posted something on my social media of a picture of my dad and my uncle. And they were two of the most influential people in my life. My uncle passed away many years ago, and my dad, of course, just recently. And I put in the comment section of the picture how they both realized that I was right. And I want to go in on that a little bit as to how interesting it is that, at the end of our walk, or even in the heat of our if we're not paying attention, we won't see the full truth of things that are right before us in our lives. We will not. We will be jaded by emotion. I don't care how mature you are. I don't care how evolved you are. There is something going on in your life that you are jaded by because of emotion. And emotional attachment is jading you. I know there are things in my life, I have to admit it. I don't know what they are because I don't see them. I'm jaded to them. Even as aware as I look to be, and God, not even look to be, as I am, God has given me the ability to have clarity. And, it's a give and take with this, because some things, like I said, you don't want to see, but you can't deny that you've seen them. And you just pray for the ability to be able to navigate what you see wisely. But I noticed that in my uncle's life, towards the end of his life, when I went to visit him, had I not had the clarity to see the signs that were showing themselves in the physical world that were leading me to go visit him, I would have missed the opportunity of visiting him. But because I was aware, I was available to the signs, I was led to follow them, and they led me to visit him. And when I went to visit him, we were talking about the signs that I had that made me aware of his transition, that it was at hand. And he began to expound upon things that he experienced also in his life and how they connected to some of the symbolism that I saw in my life that led me to put an emphasis on going to visit him at that time. But nonetheless, during that time that I had with him, certain truths were revealed to him as well. Truths that during his life he didn't see as clear as he saw at that time that they were revealed to him. He saw certain truths while he was still alive, but at the end of his walk. And, it's fair to say that, those that transition, they go from living to breathing. They're able to see from an aerial perspective the truths of things that were elusive to them while they were walking in life. That veil is lifted and you see everything. So all of the things that didn't make sense now make sense. You really get to see who's who and what's what, but from the other side. And that's what my post was about. Is the coming full circle to truth. Not some falsehood that you conjure to build a case or to make someone right or wrong, but allowing people to show you who they truly are. Giving them enough room to move in ways that they feel as if they can. It's always good to see people move the way that they feel like they can. I don't want to see you move when you know people are watching you and you're limited by the perspectives, the thoughts, and the feelings of other people. I mean, it's cool. I do want to see it because it gives me a reference point I can use to cross-reference how you move when nobody watches. But really, I want to see that, and then I want to see what you do when you feel like you can. I want to see how you move when you feel like you got options and that there will be no retribution. There'll be no accountability. When there's no one to hold you accountable, I want to see how you move. In life, you must know who you are. I know that's cliche. You got to know who you are. My dad would tell me that all the time. You've got to know who you are. You've got to enjoy your life. You've got to have some sort of criteria that you stand upon. You got to stick to that. And you've got to own that. Because what happens in life is that as you progress upon your walk in life, you'll encounter other people that will be added to your path. Whether you add them on, whether they're significant others or they're friends or business acquaintances or whatever, or you could be children being led by a parent and you're just now interacting with all those people that the parent interacts with. We see this all the time. I could date someone and bring them into my life, and my daughter would have to deal with them. I mean, not so much now that she's almost 18, but if she's a young child, my child would have to deal with them. They wouldn't have a choice. It wouldn't be like my child could say, I don't want to be over here with y'all. I want to go somewhere. They don't have a choice. They have to adapt to what you bring into their environment. But the key word is that it's their environment. And my dad was excellent at solidifying that in my mind. My reality. This is mine. Surely there could be people that'll come and go. There will be friends that'll come along the path. There'll be all kinds of people that I have to interact with, but it's still mine. But what we find in life is that we own our presence. We own our presence, whether within that family dynamic or whether within that work environment or within that system. We own our presence in that, and we're solidified in that. But we must interact with others. And it is in the interaction of others that they look to layer on their reality atop yours. They're always trying to layer on an alternate reality on top of your truth. And it is in this that you cannot get confused. Because it is in this that many people get confused, friend. You'll get confused only if you don't know and are not solidified in the truth of your own reality, your own presence. You've got to be able to sense it. When someone is trying to layer on atop your reality, their projection. Why would they do that? Friend, they'll do it because they want to control. It's a control mechanism. They want to feel important. They want to feel relevant. And because they are not organically a part of that environment, they've been added in. They've been grafted into that environment in a sense. In order for them to feel grounded and rooted in that, they feel like they got to alter your reality by layering in their projection on top of yours. To get you to abandon your reality, your projection, your way of thinking, your way of seeing yourself in that environment as it relates to truth, and adopting the false projection that they're layering on top to remote control you so that they don't have to be organically from that environment. They can just come in and manufacture their way into that environment in the form of power and control. It's a way of them exuding and enacting some form of control and power and manufacturing roots in an environment that they have no roots in. I'm here to tell you today. I'm here to tell you today. It breaks my heart to tell you, but this is the facts. This is the facts. And if you don't know your truth, if you don't know your reality, if you don't know your place in your system of things, you will get lost in their projection. You will go about life moving within the framework of their layered projection, thinking it's yours. A lot of these projections can be subtle. There'll be subtle things and you'll be like, okay, this reminds me of what I've been doing all along. It's just a subtlety that's different. But if you haven't paid attention, you will not notice that subtlety. And you will make that reality that has been layered on top of your truth now your truth, abandoning the real truth. And in doing that, you're being controlled. You find yourself feeling powerless. Feeling powerless to enacting your will within your own environment, not knowing that you're not really in your own environment. Your environment has been superseded by somebody else's layered reality. And that's why you're not getting the result you want. Friend, my dad made sure I always knew my role in my reality. And what is that? That I'm loved. Friend, somebody needed to tell you you were loved and that you matter. And not just by one person, by a whole system of people. That your life is necessary. That you don't have to go and try to be in nobody else's stuff. You got enough within your own system to be fulfilled with. You've got enough within your system to be fulfilled with, friend. So much so that other people exert so much energy in trying to find a way of layering themselves in your stuff. That's how popping your stuff is. You're not going out into other people's reality, layering yourself into theirs. You could care less. They come into yours to test how much you know of it. And shame on you if you don't know it. Because they will supersede amongst all that is within your environment and siphon your power. They want to be you. They've always wanted to be you. Without coming forth and saying it. They want to pick attributes of you. They want to get the love that you get. They want to get the favor. They want to get the grace. They want to get this. They want to get that. Whatever it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You've got to know your reality. I was frustrated today. I was frustrated out of love and truth. And I make no bones about it. Because a lot of times in life, y'all, we need to be frustrated. It's as if we go around and we act as if we've been programmed to believe that if we act as if we're mature and we don't have an emotional connection to things, we have some sort of command over them. And that is true in a sense. But there are some things that require an emotional response to. That's the level of love. Even God himself showed an emotional response. When? Think of the time when God had Moses come up on top of Mount Sinai. And the children, left to Aaron, reverted back. God was so angry. He was going to unalive the whole house. He was big mad. This is the Creator. So, how much more will we be? It's about focusing that energy in the right way. It's not about the energy itself. It's about the focal point. What are you communicating with that? Is it destructive or is it truthful? Is it laying a new foundation based upon truth, based upon newness, based upon a new door that is now open because another has closed? And such must be spoken with such fervor and passion? Yeah. It's focusing the energy intently. Not just throwing energy out there, but focused energy. Speaking truth to power. Speaking truth in power. And establishing a cadence. Denying the layer. Acknowledging that a layer is looking to be implemented, and I rebuke this. I rebuke this layer in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I rebuke this layer in the name of the God that Jesus himself came forth proclaiming in power and in authority. Yeah, as you should. The layers that people look to project on top of your truth in the hopes that you really don't own your truth, in the hope that you really aren't who you say you are, in the hopes that you really don't know the roots from which you spring forth from. All because they want to be grafted into that root system, but they have not been given the opportunity to. Dust. All those that do not get grafted into the root system are dust. Thus, even if you allow the projection that is looking to be intertwined into your reality to manifest, it's not permanent. At the end of that cycle, at the end of that relationship, that layer dissolves back into dust. That projection dissolves into dust. And you are left with what? The truth of you that was there all along. But that you never really saw because you didn't notice it, didn't pay attention to it, before that other person and their layer superseded itself atop it. This is what I mean by the vine. The vine is forever. But the dust is just dust. I hope this serves as a motivation to anybody that experiences such things like this. That deals with people that do such things for whatever reason. The reasons are innumerable. The circumstances, countless. The things that bring these things forward, vast. But there's one truth that remains. And that is, what is yours, friend. That's the promise. Whether you feel like you don't love yours enough and you want to supersede it on top of somebody else's to make theirs yours, or whether you love yours enough, or whether you're too young to pay attention and you have no one in your life that understands this, to hammer this into you so that you know it and you go about life dealing with the results of their experiences because they're guiding you, and those people that they bring into their life do such things out of fear and insecurity. The truth is that after it's all said and done, what's yours is always yours. Your portion is your portion. As it spoke to in the book of Ecclesiastes, your portion is yours. And your portion is forever. This is the promise. Focus on yours. Love yours. Love yours. And in that, no one can come and steal anything. No one can come and trick you out of anything. All people will do is expose themselves. They will shine a light on who they truly are. And in them shining a light on who they truly are, those that are privy to that will see it. Just like I said with my uncle and my dad in that picture. I love them too much to say, I told you so. I can never say that. But I'm sure they're thinking, that shell was right all along. I know they are. I got money on it. This is my word for you today. You're loved more than you'll ever know. Okay? It's okay to be passionate and about the right things. The things that matter. That's why God gave us the spirit of passion. To utilize it in the right way and focus it on the things that matter. Be good to yourselves and be good to one another. Thank you. I welcome you to minister to our church here in Kenya. Oh, that's very kind of you. I would love to. I would love to come and just sit and listen to your service. Are you online? You should come. You should message me, please. I'm going to drop off, you guys. Have a beautiful day. Be good to yourselves. And be good to one another. Thank you so much. Thank you, friend. Peace and love.